Hello and welcome to this OpenStack demo. Today we will showcase enterprise applications on OpenStack, and we will use SAP HANA to show you a demo with OpenStack Manila. Let's look at how we have deployed OpenStack, what services we have deployed, and also how have we deployed HANA on it. So you can see in the middle we have OpenStack, and we have deployed for the storage side Manila, Cinder, and Glance as storage services, and we have deployed Nova, Neutron, and Keystone. So this is a multi-node HANA deployment, and we have two nodes for HANA. And if you see on the storage side, we have HANA shares, which are NFS shares, which are used by the HANA nodes, and all the HANA data, shared binaries, and logs are stored in these Manila shares. And we are also using Cinder and Glance, of course, in this setup. And we are using Cinder to provide block storage to the VMs. And this is basically the boot volumes for these two HANA nodes. So Cinder provides the boot volumes, and all the HANA data, logs, and shared data for HANA is stored in Manila shares. And now let's see how the data path looks like. And you can see that HANA shares, the HANA shared, HANA data, and log, these are NFS shares, and they are connected directly to the HANA nodes. And the Cinder boot volumes are provided by the hypervisor to the HANA nodes. So basically they are presented as boot volumes to the HANA nodes, but are connected with NFS or iSCSI to the hypervisor. Now let's look at the backup workflow. We have a HANA deployment with Manila, and we have Manila shares, data, log, and shared shares. Like any other database, we would do a quiesce, which will be something like putting the database in a read-only mode as the first step. At a second step, we would take a storage-based snapshot. And in this case, I'm taking a consistency group snapshot. Basically, I'm grouping my data shares so that I need to take one snapshot instead of taking multiple snapshots. So say, for example, I have a huge cluster of HANA nodes. I don't need to take multiple HANA snapshots, storage-based snapshots of each and every share, but I can take one snapshot. So that's why I created a consistency group here. And then once the storage-based consistency group snapshot is created, we are going to close the HANA snapshot. That would be equivalent to an unquiesced operation, or you can say we are putting the database in a write mode eventually once the storage-based snapshot is completed. So this is true for most of the databases, and exactly what we will apply to HANA database. Now let's look at the demo. Now here you can see I have two HANA nodes, the HANA VMs, Nova instances, and they are running. This is the dashboard UI, and you can see that I have shares, two data shares and log shares and shared share. Now we are going to the CLI, and we will also look at the two HANA data shares. And now what we are trying to show is the consistency group. So I have a consistency group, HANA data CG, and the two data shares that I highlighted before are basically part of this consistency group. So exactly what we are trying to show here. So you can see the consistency group ID matches with HANA data CG. That was for the first share, and for the second share, that is true as well. So we have both the shares part of one consistency group. Now that we have made that clear, let's go to the HANA node and see the mount points. So that's how I mounted my database shares on both the nodes. So you can see I have all the shares mounted here. This is the second node. Now we are going to show you that we have created some sample data. So you can see I have three tables that I created. This is just to basically do some tests so that my database is not empty when I'm actually doing a restore, for example. So I have three tables: region, sales, and product. Just some dummy data. Now we log into the HANA Studio, which is the interface where you can manage your HANA databases, and we can see that all the HANA services and nodes are running up and running. Everything is running fine. Now let's try to take a backup, a storage-based backup. So basically here we're taking a storage snapshot and we are giving it a comment. Basically right now we are quiescing the database. And the database is now prepared for a storage-based snapshot. We will go back to OpenStack and we will create a consistency group snapshot, which will take care of all the data shares. We don't need to do it one after the other, right? So once that is done, we have completed the storage-based snapshot. We can go ahead and tell HANA database, I have taken the storage-based snapshot. You can go ahead and unquiesce my database or close the HANA snapshot. So we do that, and as soon as that is done, the backup is completed and is registered in the HANA Studio. And you can see it took only 55 seconds. And even if the database is really big, because we are using snapshots, it will always be really, really fast. And data dumps are very, very time consuming instead. So now that we have taken a backup, we are going to actually drop one of the tables so that we can do a restore or recovery of the database and show you as a test. So one table is gone, that is the sales table, and now we are going to start recovery in the HANA Studio. So the HANA Studio will actually shut down the database and collect all the data that it needs to perform recovery. Once that is done, it will start a wizard for us, and we are going to enter the log details. We can see all the backups that exist, but right now they're not available. So we need to actually restore our CG snapshot and bring this backup back to the disk. So it should be on the disk so that we can start recovery. So once we do a CG create, that is recover the CG snapshot and then mount it on our HANA nodes, we will be able to start recovery and the data backup will become available. You can see it becomes green and now it's available because it's available on the disk and not the snapshot. And now we can go ahead and continue with our recovery process. So now the recovery is happening. It takes a bit of time, but we have fast forwarded it a little bit. So you can see that the database was recovered and it started back successfully. We have all the HANA services running as well. Now let's see if our backup was successful, restore was successful. You can see the sales table is back and also the data in the sales table is back. So the recovery was successful. Of course, this whole process was done manually, but we can also do this in an automated fashion. All these were commands that have to be executed, and we can execute them in a script as well or schedule them. But in this demo, we just do it in a manual way so that it is easily understandable. Now, what the use case that we saw was this use case where you need to use HANA Manila snapshots and to say create backup systems or dev systems and test systems. This is the use case that we saw, and there are tools that SAP provides, for example, to do these operations. And the new features that are coming in Manila, like Manila replication, will enable us or enables us to do disaster recovery using the same tools. So once you do replication from one availability zone to another, you can basically create DR solutions using the same SAP tools. So because we have such new and enterprise-ready features, we can enable OpenStack to run SAP or other enterprise applications in this environment. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Bye.